Good morning, everyone. Today is Chof Cheshvan, and we're going to learn in memory of Alfred Gutman, Avram Ben David is the Cheshvan Aliyah. In today's lesson, Tuesday Chof Cheshvan on page 61 in the Chayenu, will is the exterior of pleasure. What does that mean? For a person wants that which brings them pleasure. That's what a person wants. Usually, hopefully, it's the right kind of pleasure, nachas. Pleasure being the highest experience of the soul. Hashem also wants pleasure. How does he get pleasure? When we do a mitzvah. The light hidden away for the righteous in the time to come is termed as above the pleasantness of Hashem, Noyam Hashem, and the pleasurable thirst of delighting in Hashem. The Dalid Meis Almin, the Chisufin, the Misanig Bahoyin Tzidkaya, Chulu, Kamesha Kosov, Arba Mea Shekel Kesef. You can think, what's the difference whether I do something good or bad? Why does it bring any joy or pleasure? I sometimes ask my kids if they're misbehaving, are you enjoying yourself? When they're doing something good and positive, they're getting rewarded. It's much more enjoyable. So the Aramaic phrase translated, the longing, worlds of longing, is Alma the Kisufin. The root of the second word, Kesef, means not only silver, but also longing. The light comprises very many rungs and levels, one superior to the other. But the minute radiation, which descends level after level to create this garment that garbs the soul, belongs to the lowest level of this light. Maybe that's natural, maybe that's understandable. Metaphorically speaking, it's the external level, the lowest outer level. I am the Sefer Mikdash Melech, sorry. Vereshud Ahmed Beis. Okay. The Alter Rebbe now goes on to explain the external level of this radiance from which these garments derive is called the supernal will. So will, as will soon be explained, is the external aspect, meaning a consequence of pleasure or delight. So the fact that it brings you joy, but the outer level is the will to bring you joy. We'll soon see what that means. I would have thought that will is the internal level. The will, the desire, and then the pleasure brings you closer to the will, but we'll soon see. In the soul of man, we all enjoy certain things. We all look for things that bring us pleasure. For example, Alter Rebbe brings here a new insight, a new concept. You're introduced to a new idea. You're like, wow, that's an amazing idea. That's an amazing thought. The external aspect of the soul's power and state of delight is the faculty of will. Willing that which it wills, meaning something that's not painful, for pain is the opposite of delight. So I hope, I desire something that's opposite of pain and suffering. I want everything to be good. A person desires something new, something because it gives him pleasure. Because pleasure is the inner or motivating aspect of desire. Desire and will is external, meaning it brings you to the pleasure. Metaphorically speaking, it's the same with the infinite Ein Sof, as it were. The supernal will is the external and hindmost aspect, And it all leads to bringing pleasantness of God, pleasurable thirst, and worlds of longing, to bring Hashem nachas ruach. So when we state that the garment for the soul derives from the achardayim and chitzanis, from the external levels of supernal delight, means that it derives from the supernal will, the will to bring God pleasure. Even though these delights and the will are fused in absolute unity, Hashem is not, this aspect of him and that, everything is one with God. So Hashem and his will are one. And not chas v'shalom like the will of man. Not at all. Not partially or not even fragmented in any way. There's no similarities between the will of man and the will of God. Man's will is not one with the person himself. By contrast, God and his will are one. So how then can we differentiate above when we say God has pleasure and then he has the will which brings about the pleasure? How can we say that? It's not two things. So the Torah speaks in the language of man so that we can understand that we can process it in our brains. So really, in essence, Hashem's will and pleasure and desire are the same thing. It's all one. But so that we understand it better, that's the way it's explained. So just as man, we have pleasure internally and the will is external, that's the way we describe Hashem, but it's not the case. It's not the same. When a person conceives something wonderful in his mind, then at that moment, a wondrous delight is in his mind. Wow, it's so amazing. So it happens at the same time. So it follows that the capacity for pleasure surpasses by far the faculty of intellect and wisdom. It merely vests itself in the faculty of intellect and wisdom for that moment that brought him pleasure. When a man feels a subject of intellect and wisdom, that is, he apprehends and understands it well, and he also senses the faculty of pleasure which is vested in the subject of the wisdom. And that's why in the holy Zohar Kabbalah, the faculty of Bina is referred to as the world to come. For it is the state of the manifestation of the Chokhmah, together with the delight which the righteous in Gan Eden and the Garden of Eden apprehend and conceive new insights in the Pnimius HaTorah, the innermost mystical dimensions of the Torah. The Torah derives from Chokhmah. And the Torah and God are entirely one. Thus, through gaining a perception of Pnimius in the manner in which the soul apprehends the Pnimius in Gan Eden, where it apprehends the essence of God, and this delight itself, as the Rebbe adds, is utterly upward. As explained above, the soul gains an apprehension of God's infinite light. And in order for it to be able to absorb this degree of illumination, it must be equipped with the protective and receptive garments of the mitzvahs, as has been explained. So the takeaway for today, Chavra, is a tangible example of the revelation of the Gan Eden, the world to come, is pleasure. Gan Eden is going to be wonderful, blissful, most enjoyable experience. Pleasure is the deepest experience of a person. One desires, thinks, and acts upon that which will bring them this sense of inner pleasure. So the level, so to speak, of Hashem, which is his innermost and infinite essence, will be revealed at the time of, in the world to come, in the time of Mashiach. And that's what we want to reveal. External level, also good. But it's the internal level, the real pleasure of why. Imagine we could understand why Hashem wants us to do these mitzvahs. We understand it brings him pleasure, but how and why, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that'll come soon. Chavra, have a wonderful day. Everyone, please join us at Town Hall at 11 o'clock for the Veterans Day ceremony.